everybody, Teacher Source here. I wanted to show you my 5 different literacy weeks. Each of the weeks does come with a Google and Seesaw link, so you can use this for remote learning or in-class learning with stations. You could print it for paper pencil. Each week will go along and tell you what standards are going to be focused on, and then it's going to have the links. And then it will have the links to the videos that the students are watching, and they're focusing a lot on the story mountain of a fairy tale and how does the fairy tale go, what's the normal, typical routine of a fairy tale story, and then they're going to look at adaptations and how a traditional fairy tale can be changed with an adaptation fairy tale, and it is very similar, but it's a little bit different. Then they're going to look at comparing and contrasting the two stories and the lesson of the story. Okay? Always going back to that story mountain, and then they're going to try to write their own fairy tale adaptation, looking at and thinking about the story mountain. So that's week 1. Week 2 has a focus on, let me click down real quick. This one has a focus on literacy characters, so fictional characters. So they're going to be listening to Grace for President, that book, and then they're going to be comparing and contrasting the 2 main characters using this top hat organizer. Then they're going to be thinking about just specifically what did they learn about the 2 characters, and then they're going to be looking at character change eventually in this week. How does a character change from the beginning to the end? They're also going to be looking at character traits. So one example of a character trait that explains my character is the example that showed this from the story. So they're utilizing these sentence starters to write that. And then they're going to, they're going to fill out this character change sentence starters, and then they're going to connect it back to if they would want to be president. After thinking about the qualities that these children exhibited in the book, do they have those, and do you think they would want to be president? Week 3 is going to, go down here, it's going to have a focus more on nonfiction. So they're going to be using this children's dictionary to look up these new words and what the definition is, and then they're going to be going to this book, Pierre the Penguin, A True Story, and they're going to be listening to it, and they're going to write down the facts that they learned about Pierre from that story, and then they're going to watch another video about Pierre, but a more real-life video, and then they're going to be synthesizing and summarizing and comparing the 2 different versions to look at how you can synthesize 2 texts together and so come up with a similar main idea. They're going to be summarizing, and then they're going to be putting those new words in their own sentence and drawing a picture about them so they can own those words. Okay, week 4, they are going to be watching their favorite show or movie on Netflix or on TV, whatever they choose, and then they're going to try to summarize what happened in that show using the Somebody Wanted But So Then, and then they're going to do a review for that show or another show they watch. So getting more specific into, I rate this book because this, or I rate this movie this many stars, and going into that details to support your opinion. And then they're going to choose one of these books or read a book if they have it at home, and they're going to do a book review about that specific book. How many stars would they give it and why? Giving details to support their opinion. Then they're going to pick the main character from the movie or show that they watched and do a character trait map. What does the character think about? What does the character say? What does the character look like? What does the character love and care about? And then what lesson did they learn? Okay, and then they can, optionally, this is an activity, they can make a little quiz about the book and give it to someone else who reads that book or watches that show just to practice questioning. And then the 5th and final is a focus on nonfiction, and they're going to be, let me scroll down here, thinking about the word preview and what a preview is for a movie, and they're going to preview a book in turn after they learn about that. And they're going to look at this book called Bigger Than a Monster Truck, and this is a Raz Kids, and this is free. They're going to take a look at this book online, and they're going to preview it. What do they think the book's going to be about? What do they predict? What do they know already about this topic? Which is really important for nonfiction reading prior to reading that book to kind of get your head in the mindset of the topics that the book is about. Then they're going to be doing a nonfiction scavenger hunt. They're going to be looking for a table of context, index, bold words, captions, and so on from the book, and then how does it help them as a reader. And then they're going to be looking at the glossary, what new words did they learn from the book. Then they're going to be answering some comprehension questions about that specific book, and then main idea and details. So lots of different activities in here, both fiction and nonfiction. So it gives you a variety, and it also allows you to assign these if you wanted for the week, because it goes day by day as to what they would need to do. But it also allows you to give some work to students during your workshop. If you want to assign these activities during your workshop, they can work on these through Seesaw or Google kind of at their own pace, and also then transfer it over to working at home on that specific thing if they save it, and they can continue focusing on that. So thanks for listening. Enjoy.